As I'm sure you know, the spirit of adventure and discovery run deep throughout our kingdom. And I am far from the only storyteller and truth seeker here who is qualified to discuss it. So, for the time being, allow me to leave you in the capable hands of another. Let's welcome Salah. Bright sun, welcoming residents, an abundance of natural beauty. Could there be a more promising spot to survey for an archaeological dig? It is no Cairo, of course, but then, few places are. I am Salah Mohammed Faisal El Kahir, but you may call me Salah. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Though I am afraid you find me occupied with a professional matter at the moment. My friend and associate Indiana Jones has sent me here to select a site for our next excavation, but with so many potentially significant ruins to choose from, I am faced with an embarrassment of riches, so to speak. Let's send Salah to survey possible dig sites. Ah, see, that building there. A fine structure if there ever was one. Though I am certain it reminds me of something. The Temple of Peril, perhaps, in the jungles of French Indochina. I admit, there is a fair resemblance, but no. Or maybe the infamous Temple of the Crystal Skull in the Lost River Delta region of Peru. That is closer, but... Ah! I am thinking of a different temple entirely, in the Lost Delta region of India. An honest mistake, I assure you. An amusing quirk of translation, is it not? I suppose more than one delta can be lost at a time. Ah, I see that you are in the market for, shall we say, a more hidden sort of knowledge. Well, as someone who is in the business of unearthing the secrets of the past, who am I to deny you the same pleasure? I believe you will find this of interest, the journal of a certain archaeological mercenary, once thought lost to time. Let's send Belloc to arrive on the scene. Ah, my dear Professor Kaufman, so very obliging and so very naive. One call to his office, claiming to be a close personal friend of Indiana Jones, who only wishes to assist him in his work. And just like that, I have detailed directions to his latest dig site, and to the Chamber of Earthly Riches in particular. Really, this is all far too easy. It is the Temple of the Forbidden Eye I speak of, the hidden jewel of Bengal, excavated by Indiana Jones himself. Perhaps you have heard the stories of it in the news. It was all the rage with the tourists some time ago. Ah, but there are stories of the temple that you will not read in the papers, and one in particular comes to mind. One moment, while I prepare myself to tell it properly. Let's send Salah to prepare to tell a story. Then give 3 cheers and 1 cheer more for the Captain of the Pinafore. Ah, perfect. When a brisk vocal warm-up is required, I find a pre-excerpt of Savoy opera is just the thing. With the possible exception of the Mayor General's song. That always leaves me more tongue-tied than before. Besides, as someone who has met his fair share of pirates, that entire operetta is most inaccurate. But I digress. Allow me to begin my tale at the beginning. The year 1935. The personages involved, Indiana Jones and myself, engaged in a dig of great archaeological significance. And the place, as you by now well know, is the magnificent Temple of the Forbidden Eye. Let's build an Indiana Jones adventure. Yes, the Temple of the Forbidden Eye, which Indiana Jones and I have recently run out of money to continue excavating. I admit it was a harsh blow when we found out, but it was not long before I arrived at a foolproof solution to our plight. And thus, Sala Tours was born, a series of bespoke tourist excursions through the dig site in exchange for a modest fee. Oh, it proved delightfully popular, and an excellent source of funding for our work besides. A true win-win scenario. Until the tour groups began disappearing inside the temple. That most certainly qualified as a loss, especially because we could not find them. As our story begins, Indy had embarked upon an expedition into the depths of the temple in search of the missing tourists, only to disappear himself, almost immediately, for the better part of a week. So perhaps I should say, as our story begins, I had just sent a new group of tourists into the temple to find the missing Indy. That sent Sala to begin a tale of adventure. Phew. Remind me to follow my own advice and stay out of the labyrinth of chaos, no matter how high the stakes are. That dump isn't any easier to navigate the second time around. Good thing I brought extra torches and a pack full of rations. Another day of wandering around down there, and it have been rat tartare for lunch. Not that I haven't eaten worse. At least I didn't run into any tourists, which means they're probably in some other part of the... Hey, where am I in the temple anyway? This isn't where I came in by. Yes, please continue to imagine Indy himself as I narrate. I will assume a lower profile. Wait, this is the Tunnel of Torment, just past the Hall of... This is the secret entrance we've been looking for! Those tour groups must have stumbled in here on their way to the treasure chambers and gotten turned around somehow. But, wait, I went over this whole corridor with a whisk broom twice! How come they got a secret entrance to open and not... Oh, a more pressing question. Why are what looks like truck headlights barreling straight towards me were underground? Let's send Sala to keep narrating the adventure. Tourists. It had to be tourists. That's one of Sala's gussied up troop transports, full of 10-cent rubberneckers from... Of course, that's why all those trucks full of tourists went missing. Some nincompoops kept looking into the statue's eyes. For the love of... It's called the Temple of the Forbidden Eye. The statues have eyes, and it's forbidden to look at them. How much clearer could it possibly be? Let's hope Salah made them sign a waiver. I admit I did no such thing, though I did record a very persuasive film strip to a similar effect. Oh no, they're headed straight for the gates of doom. Gotta keep them away from that, otherwise who knows what will... Hey, tourists! There's powers here you can't possibly comprehend. Quick, take the left passage. It's the only way out. Phew, nice driving, pal. Just try actually holding the steering wheel more often. There's a whole lot of temple left. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go after them and make sure they don't get themselves killed, aren't I? Let's send Salah to narrate in the Chasing the Truth. Okay, good news. Turns out those inscriptions on the southeast wall referencing a cavern of bubbling death. Accurate. Bad news, it's made out of lava, and those tourists almost drove into it 3 or 4 times. Also, the temple might be collapsing. Should have mentioned that. It's important for context. But if I get out of this jam in one piece, I am writing a first-rate article about those inscriptions. I am pleased to inform you that he did so. It was very thoroughly sourced. Gotta get ahead of that truck somehow. If the exit's where I think it is, there could be a few dozen death traps between... No! Don't drive into the bug pit! What did I just say about actually using the steering wheel? Say one thing for following those tourists from up here. At least I don't have to deal with any slimy bottom feeding. Hello, Dr. Jones. Spoke too soon. Let's send Salah to narrate a perilous confrontation. Belloc, let me guess. That canteen's full of eternal youth water, and there's earthly riches in the satchel. Very perceptive, Dr. Jones. It is a shame there was nothing so tangible to plunder within the Observatory of the Future. But 2 out of 3 of this temple's priceless treasures is more than enough to satisfy my buyers. You won't get away with this, Belloc. Even if you make it out of here alive, I'll make sure the world knows what you did. Oh, I'm sure the world will believe a certain tour group is to blame. A pity they won't be around to refute the accusation. Yes, upon reflection I really should have had those tourists sign a waiver. Au revoir, Dr. Jones. We may well meet again, but I seriously doubt it. Belloc, get back here, you sleazy excuse for a... He's gonna trap him and frame them for the whole lousy... I gotta get to that truck before he does. Just have to take that shortcut through that chamber there with all the... Let's send Salah to narrate the adventure. I'm gonna go ahead and block the last 20 seconds out of my memory for the rest of my life. Which is significantly longer now that I just missed getting eaten by a bus-sized cobra. Sadly, this adventure preceded Indy's excavation of the Well of Souls, so it was sadly prescient. Alright, head back in the game. Truck went behind the big carving and around to the right, which means... yeah, if the murals in the burial chamber are right, and they took all the blow darts, I'll be able to head them off at the... Hello again, Dr. Jones. Oh, give me a break! Let's send Salah to narrate a thrilling confrontation. Whoa, out cold in one punch? Really? Expected that to be less one-sided somehow. I got a fist fight block more often. Just gonna stash him under this archway and come back for him after I... yeah, that probably won't collapse on him. Hey, now, why is this lever tripped? This wasn't supposed to be... Did Belloc set this off before I laid him out? What did the burial chamber mural say was supposed to be here? Rolling orb of implacable retrieve. Oh no! This adventure also preceded Indy's escape from the Chachapoyan temple, so also prescient. No time left. Got the rope tied off, gotta drop down and save that tourist truck before the boulder squishes him flat as a... Oh wait, here they come! Hey, get a light on down there! You made it this far, now let me drive you out of the way of the... Oh, change of plans, back up! Let's send Salah to narrate the finale to the adventure. Phew, good thing the floor collapsed under that boulder, otherwise none of us would have gotten out of there in one. Oh wait, here comes their truck. Hey, not bad for tourists. Now stay out of trouble, will ya? Bunch of crazy kids. Ooh, actually, that rumbling sound, that's a bad rumbling sound. I think the floor under that boulder was load-bearing. Better follow my own advice and get out of here while here still has all four walls. Classic Indy close shave, to be sure. He has become somewhat of an expert at those by now. Oh, come to think of it, here I am narrating this adventure second-hand, when I witnessed this next part with my own eyes. Yes, I was outside the temple with my portable camera rolling, better to document the experience for a future film strip, while at the same time speaking with the tourists via radio, having no idea of their exploits in the temple of course. I was just advising them to stay seated until their transport came to a stop, when... we'll see the footage for yourself. Let's welcome Indiana Jones. And daylight. Phew, finally. Wish I could say that was the first temple collapse I had to outrun, but if I did, I'd be lying. This job has got the weirdest occupational hazards. Oh, not out of the woods yet. This whole stretch of ground is still very unstable. The whole cavern must be collapsing underneath me. That's a few stories drop into hot lava if I'm lucky, and gotta get someplace structurally sound before I... Wait, is that Salah? Hey Salah, we got a situation here. Let's send Indy to get out of there. what a fine day for a... Oh, is that Indy? He must finally have found his way out of the labyrinth. Hello, my friend! Ah, just look at him, waving hello to the camera, gallantly capering from tree to tree. Perhaps it is only his joy at his newfound freedom, but it makes for exceedingly good film. And that riverbank he just leaped away from has sunk 15 feet onto itself. Oh dear. I'm okay, mostly. My goodness, that certainly sounds like quite a harrowing escapade. I am glad that you and the tourists escaped intact. But what of that competitor you mentioned? What did you say his name was again? I didn't, because he doesn't rate a mention. But we should probably head back in there and make sure he isn't dead. That and catalog anything of historical importance that got shaken loose in the collapse. Because at the end of the day... Haha, yes, at the end of the day, we are still archaeologists. Let's send Salah and Indy to wrap up their adventure. That concludes the tale, or the most noteworthy portions of it anyway. As for Belloc, he was long gone by the time he reached where Indy left him, though he did leave his ill-gotten gains behind. And a good thing too, I believe some of the earthly riches are now on display in the National Museum's India collection. We did not know it then, but our excavation of the temple led to many more adventures, but those are stories for another day. Till then, how about some stories from, say, late 1936? An excellent season to be sure.